Namaskara. I am Anagha Prasad, a professional storyteller from Bangalore. I have been telling stories for the last 6 years to various age groups, and this journey has been beautiful. Sharing and learning through stories, it has been exciting, enticing and enriching. And as part of this journey with Dasara Live E-Kala Mandira, I am here to share with you all a story about a Devi. A Devi who resides in a temple on the banks of the river Ganges. A Devi who is a part of the 3 Devis known for their eyes. Meenakshi, Kamakshi, Vishalakshi. And I am here to talk to you about Vishalakshi, who resides in Varanasi, Kashi. They say the temple is one of the shakthi sthalams. And what is a shakthi sthalam? Why is it called a shakthi sthalam? How did she come there? Or how did the temple come there? Or why was it built? Is what I'm going to tell you all today. As the legends go, there are various versions of it. So this is one of the versions that I have read and that I thought I should share with you all. Long ago, very, very long ago, Daksha, the son of Brahma, was a very just king. And he had many daughters. They say that he had around 60 to 65 daughters. And Sati was one among his daughters. Sati was the incarnation of Adi Shakti. And she was his favorite. Right from a very, very young age, he would never say no to whatever she asked. Anything and everything she wanted was fulfilled. The apple of the eye of Daksha, Sati, that she was. But like how every incarnation of Adi Shakti, her ultimate goal is to meet and be one with Shiva, Sati also was probably in that route. From a very young age, she started listening and hearing stories about Shiva from the Himalayas. The people who would worship him or the people who were his devotees would come and tell various stories about him. People who were his clan would tell her stories, and she instantly fell in love. Some described him as a radiant, tall man. Some described him as this ever-giving, generous person. Some told stories about how he would never say no to anyone. And that thought that he would never say no to anyone made Sati think he would never say no to me too. And when she was of a marriageable age, and when Daksha was searching for suitors for her, and rejecting almost everyone because he thought no one is as good for my daughter, she set out to the forest to get into deep penance, because that's what she felt was the way to convince Shiva to get married to her. She did staunch meditation and penance. She gave up food, water. She lived on one bilvam leaf, which is the favorite of Shiva. And she even gave that up and did penance. And of course, Shiva was impressed and came right in front of her. And when he saw her, he was smitten. It is love at first sight for Shiva. And even before she asked, "Will you marry me?" he had decided, "I am marrying her." And when she said, "The boon that I want is that, will you be my husband?" he said, "Of course I will," without taking even a moment to think. His and her happiness knew no bounds. She just rushed back to tell her father, "I have found my husband. Just get ready to welcome the groom and his family for the wedding. Just make all the preparations for the wedding." Daksha was so happy. "Oh, you found? Who is he?" "Father, it is Shiva." What? Shiva? You gonna marry that man who has no manners, who is unruly, who is wild, whose hair is all unmanaged and it is tangled? A man who carries a skull as a begging bowl? A man whose whole body is smeared with ash? A man whose clan and his family and friends are people whom we cannot consider graceful? A man who just has a tiger skin as his clothes? And he went on. Sati was about to say, but these are all the things that you see. He has many qualities which you cannot marry that man. He is not suited for you. Your father is telling that. No, I have to marry him and I have decided, and he also loves me. And we have given a word to each other, said Sati. And against the wishes of her dad, both of them were married. All the gods and goddesses were there to bless the couple, but Daksha was not there. With a very heavy heart, she left behind her father's house, her father, and went, but happily, fluttering in her heart, to Kailasa and started living with her husband. But Daksha's hurt and disappointment did not stop there. He wanted to humiliate that son-in-law of his. How could my daughter choose him? So what he did, he organized for this grand yagna where he called everyone, all the gods, goddesses, all his daughters, all sons-in-law. But the invite did not go to Sati and Shiva. The yagna had started and it was a great pomp and show and everyone was so happy. And this news fell in the ears of Sati. She was sad. How could father do this to me? And seeing this, Shiva understood why she was like that and came and asked her, is this why you're sad that you couldn't go to your father's yagna, or he did not invite you? Of course, how can my father do this to me? You please tell me. Am I not his daughter? I'm his favorite daughter, and just because I married against his wishes, will I cease to be one? I want to go. Shall I? No, said Shiva. I think you should not. Why should you be an uninvited guest for a celebration? What uninvited guest? That's my family, that's my home. I should go. I am going, said Sati and set off. Shiva knew that there is something bad going to happen, and that's why he was trying to stop his wife. But she was unstoppable and she went. And as she entered, she was so happy to see her family. She met everyone, but Daksha gave her a cold stare. She went and started talking to him, but he answered very curtly and coldly. And he made it a point to insult Shiva in front of Sati to every guest who was present there. You know, my daughter, is the wife of that man who lives on all the cremation grounds. Yeah, that's whom she is married. She is married to that man who has a begging bowl and all kinds of things. Sati felt really bad. My husband is being insulted. The great Shiva is being insulted only because I married him. Had I not married him, my father would not have spoken something like this. And she decided to give up her life. And she said to herself that I hope in the next birth of mine, I am born to a father whom I can respect. And she jumped into the fire of the yagna and she died. And this news reached Shiva. He was enraged. My wife is no more. And immediately Rudra and Bhadrakali came out of Shiva, the two fierce forms, and They came towards the yagna and demolished everything there. They killed people. And they even killed Daksha for what had happened to Sati. And immediately before Daksha died, he realized his mistake and he chanted the Panchakshari mantra. And that cooled Rudra down and became Shiva. And they say he gave Daksha his life back, but with the head of a goat. Shiva took his wife's body, the limp, dead body. She was dead in the fire, but she was not burnt. He carried her on his shoulders and roamed around the entire earth. He was so attached to her that he did not want to give up even the body of his wife. And seeing the plight, all the gods kind of got scared because he just didn't walk. He started dancing the Rudra Tandava with his wife's body, and the whole earth shook. All the gods went and asked Vishnu for his help. And Vishnu thought, the only way that I can calm Shiva down and bring him back to his senses is when the body of Sati is not there and he can be devoid of that attachment towards the body. He took his Sudarshana Chakra and with that cut Sati's body into 51 or 52 pieces, and all the pieces fell in different parts on the land. And after that, Shiva was calmer, but he was a sad man, and he went back to Himalaya waiting for his consort to come back. And they say in the next birth, she was born as Parvati to Lord Himavat, the Himalaya god, the king, who respected not only her but also Shiva a lot. And her wish of being born to a man whom she can respect, was fulfilled, and she married Shiva. And they say all the parts of the body of Sati, wherever it fell, they constructed temples there and they are worshipped as Shakti sthalam. And Vishalakshi, the temple that we are talking about today, is the place, again there's a contention here, some say is where her eyes fell and some say where her kundalam fell, the earring fell. So whichever part of the body it could be, it is holy and she is really revered there and worshipped and is one of the Matas. And in each of the Shakti sthalam, there is her consort, the Bhairava, and there is a Kala Bhairava temple also, along with the Vishwanatha temple in Varanasi. And that is the story of the Shakti sthalam of Kashi Vishalakshi. Namaskaram.